What's the whole theory
It allows
behind this
air to
thing?
go up through the trachea and the vocal cords so
Right.
the patient can phonate.
And so you can actually block. You can actually put a little thingy on here. So now your patient is no longer breathing through the trach. They're breathing through their natural airway.
Is that called a button?
That's called a button.
That's the trachea.
Do you
That's-
have one of those Passamure valves here?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a second. I was looking for,
They have the Jackson one, it's in there somewhere.
huh?
She said, do you have the Jackson one? And I said, you do, it's in there somewhere. I saw the metal one.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. What happened to the Jackson?
It was
Okay.
on there.
This is your pediatric or your infant. One thing that I'd like you to notice about the infant one is the curvature of it as it relationship to the adult, because their anatomies are a little different, especially at the cricoid cartilage.
And that's
And one other thing about this, first of all, there's no inner cannula.
infant or pediatric?
There would be no inner cannula because look at the lumen of this thing to begin with. If you had an inner cannula, it would make the lumen even smaller. Secondly, there is no cuff. And then the other thing is the curvature of it as compared to the curvature of an adult one because of their anatomy. Okay, what
Jackson's
happened
on
to
the
the
bed.
Jacksons?
I put them on the bed. They were
Oh.
over here on the long.
Okay, this one is a Portex. You'll see these a lot in some of the hospitals. This doesn't have an inner cannula either. The Portex is a little different in that it doesn't have an inner cannula, and the flange is flexible, but you still have the cuff to blow up the balloon and all that kind of good stuff. And you have your Jacksons. These are made either out of stainless steel or sometimes they're made out of sterling silver. In the old days, they were actually made out of sterling silver. I think one of the ones we had in you, it said right on it, sterling silver. Yeah. Look, it's sterling silver.
Pretty expensive.
It better not disappear.
Could you imagine like being mugged for your trade? Well, people cut fingers.
Nikki, only you would have
Down
thought
in
of
South
that.
America, they're chopping
No,
hair.
I was gonna say people steal fingers for rings.
They cut the whole finger off?
They can't get the ring off when they end
Okay.
That's a mafia.
Mickey. I'm broke.
So
my
sterling
trade-
silver or what was the
You
other?
can tell she's Italian.
Titanium?
Stainless steel. Wouldn't they make-
It has to
wouldn't
be
it make more sense to
hyperallergenic.
like surgical steel, like.
Okay. This one does have an inner cannula.
if they're allergic
Okay, it goes in just like your others. There's no cuff.
It looks like it just looks so barbaric. It looks like metal ones. I
Yeah,
don't
this
like
is your
It'll be
person
cold.
he's at home. They're at home.
No.
They take care of this. They actually are taught how to suction themselves. They'll come into the hospital and they'll ask you for a mirror, and they look in the mirror and they can actually suction themselves.
Should
Uh,
we let people do that if they normally do it at
I've
home?
seen
Yeah.
it. I've
That's
seen
okay.
one.
That guy, the patient that we had, he suctioned. We did it to get him, but he has a right bedside, and he actually would go in there.
Okay.
Where
I
were
just
you?
didn't know if we were.
Interstate?
At the, did they have a vent unit?
No, he wasn't. He was spontaneous. He was just, yeah, he was just hanging out. He's had it for like.
He
2
was
years.
just hanging out?
Yeah, I don't know why we ran and we did it, but yeah, no, he had it by him because.
And he could suction himself.
Yeah, what happened was he had secretions. They reminded me not only gross like clear boogers, like they were. No, they didn't smell and they weren't like green and nasty. And I felt bad because when we were taking care of him, he had to keep coughing and he kept going like. I'm like, it's okay, like cough. Because he was every time he did it, it was like shooting. We had gowns and
Yeah,
everything.
one
We
thing
had
that I
everything,
want to
like,
warn you guys, I'm
Always
very
put it on the
serious.
side.
When you're doing trach care, please don't stand in front of him or point him towards you.
Yeah.
I was actually doing trach care on a patient at Monmouth, and one of my coworkers came in and said, "Do you need any help?" And I thought, "No, I'm okay. I was just finishing."